Can you hear me?
I can. I think my squelch is set to open.
Okay. I've got stroke, nav, beacon, and I'm leaving taxi and landing off right now. We can turn it on when we need it.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So we.
Altimeter 3021. GPS approaching use, landing and departing runway 31. Hazardous weather information available on flight service frequencies. Caution bird activity in the vicinity of Palo Alto Airport. Read back culture instructions and runway assignment. Advise ground control departure request. Advise on initial contact give information India. Delta Tower information India. Time 2247 Zulu. Wind variable 6. Visibility 10. Sky clear. Temperature 14. 2.8. Altimeter 3021. GPS approaching use, landing and departing runway 31. Hazardous weather information available on flight service frequencies. Caution bird activity in the vicinity of Palo Alto Airport.
Did you get the altimeter?
3021.
021. That's 6.
Setting mine too.
Huh?
I have an altimeter.
Okay. Palo Alto ground, Cessna 494 Sierra Papa, information India at Cable Rose, requesting right Dumbarton departure.
Cessna 494 Sierra Papa, Palo Alto ground, runway 31, suggest hangar side, Papa Yankee, advise run on complete.
Hangar side, Papa Yankee, 494 Sierra Papa.
What departure did you want?
And that was runway 31, Cessna 494 Sierra Papa. I wanted to left Dumbarton this time.
Tell him.
Palo Alto ground, this is Cessna 494 Sierra Papa. Can you actually get left Dumbarton departure instead?
We can start taxiing.
Cessna 4 Sierra Papa, roger, left Dunbarton.
Left Dumbarton, runway 31, Cessna 494 Sierra Papa. Thank you.
That didn't need to be a question. Just simply say, correction, left Dumbarton departure.
Okay.
You're telling him, you're not asking him.
Okay.
I'm going to do a brake check.
Okay.
Good. Door controls.
My controls? When I'm taxiing, if I pay attention, like if I'm looking far ahead and taxi is better. Like if I just looking down the nose.
No, you look ahead. Where are we going? You know, you can kind of, every once in a while you can project, is the line going beneath the nose, but mostly you want to be looking in the distance a bit.
Right.
Alto ground, this is Cessna 29 Papa Charlie at the Cable Road. Request taxi for takeoff Dumbarton left with India.
Stallion 29er Papa Charlie, Palo Alto ground, runway 31, suggest hangar side, Papa Yankee, advise run up complete.
Hangar side, Papa Yankee, and we'll advise
Take the second one.
Sure.
Flight controls whenever you're ready.
I am clear.
Alpha ground, Cessna 52535 is off the runway. We're head right to uniform parking.
The 52535 Paul to ground, taxi to uniform via Zulu, Yankee 2, suggest Juliet hangar side.
Excellent.
Zulu Yankee 2, sorry.
Can you hold the brakes, please?
I have the brakes.
Zulu Yankee 2,
Right.
Juliet hangar
Have the
side,
brakes?
52535.
You have the brakes.
Trim, set to take off, fuel select both. Full ridge. RPM. Checking left mag. Going back to road. Right mag. Back to road. Oil pressure in green, temperature in green. Ammeter is 0. Idle, back. We need. The 3-1 will be this one, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Getting it backwards, right? That's showing 300 or 30 like 2, and the bug we want to put on 308, which is the runway. So you want to turn that a little further clockwise.
Not the bug. I mean,
You want to turn the card a little clockwise, left knob. That's our heading, and then the bug you can set to 310 or 308, and now we're set.
okay.
Going to make the card match the mag compass and the bug match the heading, or the runway heading, or whatever heading you need.
Okay. Right. Flaps. So 10 flap, no flaps.
Let's do 10. We don't do that as often.
Right. So I've got strobes on, nav on, except landing and taxi. I've got all other lights on.
So as we go out, we can put the landing light on.
Can?
As we line up on the runway.
Okay. All right. Abort procedures. So we rotate at 55. If you're not in the air by the second taxiway, we are about to take off. And the engine fails while we're on the runway, we land straight ahead. If the engine fails right after takeoff, we're going into the marsh. And best glides, VX is 60 and VY is 74. And the best glide is 68.
That's it.
All right. Palo Alto ground, Cessna 494 Sierra Papa, run up complete.
For Sierra Papa, hold short Yankee 1, contact tower.
Hold short Yankee 1, contact tower, Cessna 494 Sierra Papa.
Century 74 uniform, runway 31, clear to land.
Super uniform 31, clear to land.
Hiya, Dave.
Palo Alto tower, Cessna 494 Sierra Papa, holding short Yankee 1.
Cessna 494 Sierra Papa, Palo Alto tower, are you taxiing on Yankee now?
Roger.
4 Sierra Papa, left Dumbarton, runway 31, clear for takeoff.
Left Dumbarton, clear to take off, runway 31, Cessna 494 Sierra Papa.
And now we can get the landing light on.
takeoff.
Cessna 29er Papa Charlie, pilot to tower, pull up to hold short, runway 31.
Hold short, 31, 29 Papa Charlie.
Cessna 9er Papa Charlie, up 1 Cessna is also left of Martin, runway 31, close takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 31, 29 Papa Charlie.
Cherokee 74 Tango number 2, false Centurion in the right downwind to beam the tower, runway 31, clear to land.
Number 2 for 3-1, looking for Centurion, 74 Tango.
When you take off with flaps, don't forget to raise them when you're sufficiently high. And then it's going to pitch down, so hold it up a little up trim and we'll go to 74.
Off the tower, traffic inside 74 Tango.
Actually, I forgot the flaps. That's why I was wondering.
Yep.
So when do we turn left in this case?
At the Dumbarton Bridge.
Okay. Are these all landable areas?
Some of them are.
Cessna 9er Papa Charlie, left turns, left crosswinds your discretion to maintain separation.
We'll maintain separation. Turning crosswind 29 Papa Charlie.
That road right there that leads up to the bridge, when there's no traffic on it, would be just fine.
Correction, 29 Papa Charlie will follow.
If you look behind us, right, let's see, can I point it out? If you look to the left, I'll take the airplane for a second. You look back and you see that the big building next to the shack next to the towers.
I see that.
Just to the left of it's a really flat spot surrounded by stones.
I see.
Now you can take the airplane.
I have
That used to be a shotgun firing range, and it's flat as a board. Now it's got some tumbleweeds sticking up, but it wouldn't hurt anything if you hit those, or at least it wouldn't hurt much.
7-4 uniform, contact ground.
Ground, 7-4 uniform.
So that'd be a good place to land.
Burn.
Sorry?
Sun is bothering in the eyes.
The sun?
Yeah.
Then put this down. That's what it's here for.
So, I don't know this side of the runway.
That's why we're going here.
No, so what's my altitude?
Oh, we can come up to 2,500. We're still below a 3,000-foot floor.
Okay.
That's what we were briefing earlier. And as we climb through 2,000 feet, we're actually out of Palo Alto's airspace vertically. See the fire over there?
Yeah.
We'll probably be getting pretty close to that. And I may ask ATC if that's been reported.
Palo Alto Tower, Cherokee 4570 Tango, 2,000 feet, Sonoma intersection with India. Request midfield entry, right downwind 31.
Cherokee 4570 Tango, Palo Alto Tower, enter midfield, right downwind, runway 31.
And midfield, right downwind 31, 70 Tango.
Okay, so we are to 2,500.
Our 4 Sierra Papa, we're seeing some smoke off, looks like a fire near the Kaiser Cement plant. It's about 10 southeast of us. Have you heard of that yet?
Cessna 4 Sierra Papa, roger, thank you.
And I take it there's no TFR there?
Negative.
All right, so there's the Hoover Tower, and all these red roofs, they're clay roofs, old Spanish style. That's Stanford itself.
Cherokee 74 Tango on Zulu, contact ground.
Contact ground, 74 Tango.
We could lean the mixture, and you want more power than this. Bring the power up to 2,400, nose down to level off. There is the big dish. Look, right down there in front of the strut.
Frequency change approved.
Thank you, Cessna 494 Sierra Papa.
So like 2,400 RPM,
Charlie, frequency change approved.
and you could lean the mixture. All right, so you want to go north or south first?
I mean, don't care.
All right, let's go north. So turn right, and right down underneath this is the Stanford Linear Accelerator. Do you know what that is?
Back?
Yeah.
I know that.
Okay, so we can turn all the way up to follow 280. And notice that there are some big open fields in here. Some of it's pretty rough. Turn a little tighter. We were talking about bank angle versus turn diameter. So there's some horse training areas down here, and they are pretty flat, but a lot of this is pretty rough. So we're turning to follow 280, so you can just see some of the landmarks as we get up toward Crystal Springs. You see Crystal Springs up there.
Right there, the water body?
Yep.
Okay.
So as we look at our chart, so here's 280, and as it comes up over here, 280 ends up in San Carlos's airspace a little. Yep. Yeah, ForeFlight just told me about that on the headset audio, so I was looking to see where he is. And you see, even from this angle, you can see his landing light. It really helps make opposite direction traffic visible. Interestingly, he doesn't have ADS-B out, which is a violation.
Then how did you find him?
Because he's being seen by air traffic control radar, and they show him, but it's not ADS-B. It's coming up from the ground link. You see over here it says Stratix good. That means it's receiving uplink from the FAA's ADS-B system towers. So he's seen on radar. They uplink that, but I'm not seeing him on ADS-B.
So ForeFlight is talking to the radar?
Hang on a sec. Look down here. This is Foothill College, I think. Wait, no. Yeah, that is Foothill College. So that's a landmark. And there's a guy over here about 2 miles, a little bit to the left. There he is, right over there. You can see a little glint.
Yeah.
So let's come a little left. You see where the left right now, we got to make a left. Here's about 20 degrees, no big deal. Okay, this is good. Roll out here. You see where the freeway makes a big jog to the right?
Yeah, I see that.
So that's right here on the chart, and that jog is in San Carlos's airspace, but their airspace is only up to 2,000 feet. That's a helicopter.
Yeah.
So as long as we're above 2,000, we're not in their airspace anyway. But that's an important landmark. And you see the causeway, and you see the San Mateo Bridge, and the extension of the San Mateo Bridge crosses right there and goes over to Half Moon Bay. And if you can look out on the bay, there's a little white dot on the top of a hill. That's a radar dome.
Yeah.
And the Half Moon Bay Airport is just to the left of that.
Okay.
Now, do you think we can turn around between us and the hill here?
I'm not certain.
So let's slow down. Let's throttle right back to about, 2,000 RPM and hold altitude. So bring the nose up so we slow down. And when we go from 110 knots to 80 knots, we've taken down our speed by that's about a third. So the speed is 70%, so square that. Our turn diameter will become half of what it was at 110. All right, so now let's make a left 180 at a 30-degree bank, and that should be sufficiently tight. Nose up a little more. We're losing altitude, and pull. 30-degree bank. This is one of the things you have to learn. Hold that nose up. Before you do mountain flying, is to get an idea of how much space do you need to turn around. And we turned around in a pretty small area, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we had less than half the distance we needed. But if we were at 110, we would have needed all that distance. Other thing here is a nice illustration when the...
Information, Juliet, now current wind 320
When the sun is low, we can bring the power back in, right? We're losing altitude now. When the sun is behind a hill, it's really hard to see the hill. You got to make sure you don't get too close, because otherwise you may not see it till you almost hit it. So we can keep going down this way and back to normal cruise speed, and we'll cruise all the way down and just looking at the landmarks from this direction. So there's that big swerve of the 280 freeway into the hills, into San Carlos's airspace if we were low. Here I can actually measure our turn diameter. And our turn diameter was about half a mile, the whole diameter.
This old, the traffic?
Well, he's 500 feet below us and 2 miles out. So you'd have a little trouble seeing him. He's going to be a little left of the nose. He is 2 degrees below the nose. Should be about there, and I don't see him yet. But, oh, now he's coming right at us, 12 o'clock. So he's about 5 degrees down. He's going to go right underneath our nose. Where is he? And he's almost right in front of us. He's going right below us, 500 feet below us. I still don't see him, but he's going right below us. Wow, it's amazing we can't see this guy. You should see him maybe on this side.
I don't see on my side.
Directly, holy shit, now it says he's 600 feet above us. Nope, never saw him. Oh, that's us. Now it's showing us relative. It made a mistake. So he's behind us a couple miles, so he's not a problem. All right, so you see the big dish in the distance.
Right.
And yeah, this is definitely Foothill College. It has that big parking lot that's actually well above the entrance to the school.
Yeah.
Yep. And we see, you can just, it's a little hard to see slack. You can see a little piece of it over here, and then longer over there. There's a big bunch of buildings. As we fly past it, it's kind of cool to, there's another, that same guy's probably coming back now. There he is. Got him?
Yeah.
You don't have to turn. We're well clear.
Okay.
Don't go up. You know the physics of how particle accelerators work? They're basically accelerating streams of electrons with electromagnets because they're negatively charged.
Right.
And when they get to the end, they want to send them into an experiment. They steer them with magnets, and you'll see the buildings at the end, right where it crosses under 280 right over there.
Right.
And then you see the buildings out in angles. So they steer the beam into the buildings, and they hit some kind of target which turns them into other particles like protons and neutrons. We're actually doing the high energy physics experiments. Getting a little guided tour here in addition to
training.
Yeah, so we can just come just a little right. And if you look down, you can see it looks like a really long building, but it's basically the tunnel for the accelerator.
Yeah, I see that.
And you see at the end, the buildings are at different angles because they're turning the beam into those buildings.
Got it.
Just a little more power. All we're trying to do here is fly along and go fast. This little lake is part of Portola Valley. So there's a lot of really expensive homes right here, including the guy who developed this whole area. Steve Jobs lived up here.
Polo Valley?
Sorry?
Same valley?
Portola Valley.
Portola Valley.
And if you look down on these hills, you'll see some of these homes are pretty damn big. Tennis courts, pools. You know, they're like $5 to $10 million homes. Very pretty stuff. You look down, it's kind of cool to see. Like, there's a house right here with a big round room. So every window is a beautiful view of the bay. So there's our Stanford and the Hoover Tower again. There are a couple of smaller dishes down here. And keep it this side of 280, because that keeps us out of everybody's airspace. That's actually way past the Kaiser cement plant now that I see it. And you see Moffett over there. You can see the really big hangars and the entrance to the big wind tunnel. And if you look under the right wingtip right now, that's where Palo Alto Airport, left wingtip is right where Palo Alto is.
But this is a very narrow, sort of corridor.
That is the point.
Yeah.
It's very narrow.
And, the mountains right on your right.
Yeah, and if the wind's blowing from that direction, it gets really turbulent here.
Yeah.
So what can we tell? So remember, you actually never set this guy up. The altimeter was 3021. I meant to point that out if you didn't get it. So 3201 is reading the obs. Whoops. That was funny. Okay, and now it's got navigation. What I wanted to just do was see what our ground speed was. So we're indicating 107, and our ground speed's 101. So it looks like we have a little tailwind, a little headwind in this direction, which is surprising because we thought the wind was going to be from that direction.
80. Yeah.
So the 280 freeway is just to our left.
Yeah.
Come a little further right.
Departure, runway 31, clear for takeoff.
Just to the left of the freeway is Livermore's airspace, and it's up to 2,500 feet. And much past that is the Class Charlie. So we don't want to go there. There's downtown San Jose. There's Levi Stadium. I think that's what that big building is. Yeah, that's what that is. And we're just going to go a little further here and see if we can find the quarry. We are almost there. We're about 2 miles from the quarry. And you see the stat picking up? That's where the quarry is.
This little thing sticking
Yep.
up here? Okay.
And as you look in, you'll see how big how deep the quarry is. It's pretty friggin' amazing.
So if the engine fails right now...
Well, the first thing I could think of is to go to the freeway. We passed a golf course a couple of miles ago. We could probably make that.
How about this one? How about this one here?
That golf course would be just fine. Okay, so let's make a right turn. So this is the processing part of the quarry. We're high enough that we can turn and go right over the deep part of the quarry. And if we need to, we can tighten this turn up. And I just want you to see, you see these things, that's part of the system.
Yeah.
It's a cement plant. And as we turn here, I'm giving you a little help. Look how deep this thing is.
Right.
Every once in a while, you'll hear a country song about, some coal mine operation that's took away somebody's favorite mountain. Think about how deep this is. And this is pretty damn close to terrain if you don't know really how tightly the airplane turns. And notice we I pulled this up a little to slow us down.
Right.
So look into that quarry.
Yeah.
That's pretty friggin' deep.
Yeah, it is really deep.
All right, so now we've seen the whole thing, and I saw there was a golf course over here.
Right.
The golf course would be a pretty good place to land. And we could land this way, or we could land that way. The winds are pretty light. We could land on the freeway. We land on the freeway, we'll be on the news. I don't like being on the news. At least when I'm the subject of the story.
So, it's a little, downhill.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, so we'd want to land uphill.
uphill?
Yep.
Okay, because?
If it's landing downhill, it's dropping away from you as you try to land, and you may not be able to get down in time.
I see.
Generally, unless the wind is really strong in the other direction, you want to land uphill and take off downhill. Shortens the landing roll, and taking off downhill shortens the takeoff roll. This is probably another college or high school here. Oh, so that says Foothill. This might be a high school.
Okay. So this football field, is it going to be enough for us?
No, a single football field is not long enough.
Okay.
We need 500 feet with a 10-knot headwind, and a single football field is 100 yards plus 2 end zones, so it's maybe 350 feet. We could land and slow down, but we'll hit the fence at speed, which means the airplane will get damaged, but we survive. If you see a high school field that's 2 football fields back to back, that's long enough.
140 on the heading, Delta 1352.
All right, so we've surveyed our area. There's the big dish. So we could now slow down and make a clearing turn, and we'll do some slow flight in this direction.
So clearing turn first or slow flight?
Start slowing down.
Okay.
You can bring the power right back to like 1900.
Sir, we have the field in sight, Delta 1352.
And we can start doing it. Then we can do a clearing turn in either direction because we have plenty of space on both sides. So looking at the chart, we're far enough from Moffett, we're far enough from Palo Alto, we're far enough from the hills. Either way, a 90 in one direction and a 90 in the other. And you'd like a good 30-degree bank for our clearing turn. Look forward, make sure the nose doesn't come down, and we'll maintain altitude. There's 190, and then go back immediately the other way.
What was the frequency for 2 Charlie Tango? 135.1, number 2 Charlie Tango, good day.
Richmed 2, Pulse Tower.
And Richmed 2, we are over 101, just off San Carlos.
Okay, cool. So now we can go into slow flight, and I recommend going flaps down first because it helps us slow down. So we can get out 10 flaps. Let's try to maintain 2,500 feet. So you'll probably have to add a little power to climb. Since we haven't done this in a while, reminder, pitch controls speed, power controls altitude. With full flaps, we're trying to come down to about 58 knots. Our heading reference, which they want you to call out on the phase check, is the Crystal Springs Causeway. Where are you going to land? There's some flat fields here just short of slack. There are some golf courses ahead. There's a nice field right down here that we could land this way in. Do you see this U-shaped field right in front of the strut?
Yeah.
So those are our various landing opportunities. So we can slowly go out to full flaps, and we're trying to come down to 58 knots. You got us in full flaps, still a little fast.
Traffic, 11 o'clock, 2 miles, transiting the outer bridge at or above 1,500, helicopter.
Traffic in sight, 745 Alpha Golf. Would you like me to do my left turn?
5 Alpha Golf, left crossing over.
All right, it's 55, it's pretty close. So we're closer to the hills and they're hard to see, so let's make a right turn and a left turn. We're trying to hold 2,500 feet and 58 knots. 10 degrees of bank or standard rate turn, whichever is slower.
Complete turn?
90 degrees right, 90 degrees left.
My reference was, I'm going to...
Crystal Springs, so it's under the wing.
Under the
We
wing.
can turn back the other way. How are we doing on our targets?
So far...
We're a little fast. We're 80 feet low. Add power to correct. Add nose up a tiny bit to correct. And you can turn right back to the left. Still low. We need more power. There's an airplane. Let's stop our turn. Okay, we're still a tiny bit fast. We're still a little bit low. Just nose up a little bit. And we can start reducing our flaps. We'll go to low flight flaps up.
About 2 miles northwest of Slack, orbiting in the area. Altitude indicates 2,400 and 3,200, types unknown.
One runway, thanks. I see him on the fish finder here. I'm going to be turning to the right a little bit.
One of them is us, Cessna 494 Sierra Papa. Just gave you an ident, and we'll be practicing here a few more minutes.
Cessna 4 Sierra Papa, roger, traffic 3 miles northeast of you, southwest bound, altitude indicates 2,100 bearing.
4 Sierra Papa, roger, looking for the bearing. The speed's picking up, and altitude's going up. Remember, as you bring the flaps up, you have to reduce power, which you have to do right now. We're trying to get back down to 62 knots and 2,500 feet as you bring the flaps up the rest of the way. Here's the big pitch change. Pitch up, up trim, more pitch up. See, we're accelerating. And we're still high, less power. Bring the nose up, get us down to 62 knots.
12 o'clock, 2 miles northwest bound, altitude indicates 2,500, Cessna.
Yeah, one RSC I'm looking for, thanks.
Cessna 894, number 1, runway 31, clear for the option.
There's the speed, but notice the altitude's now 150 feet high. On the flight test, you only get plus or minus 100. So when you are high and fast, you have to throttle back first, come down, and then pitch up. All right, so we are okay now, and we can make our right turn, left turn again. Wait, hold on a second. We got a guy just below us to our right. 2 miles.
Traffic will be passing off of your right by about a mile to 2 miles here momentarily. Altitude indicates 2,000.
There you go. Right.
4 Sierra Papa, traffic in sight.
Baron 1 Romeo Whiskey, previously called traffic has you in sight, frequency change approved.
RSC, thank you. See you in a bit.
Okay, I got him. All right, so we're a little close to that spot for San Carlos,
Right.
but we are above it. So we can do another right turn, left turn.
Okay.
Cessna 254 Echo Kilo, follow up the tower, hold short, runway 31, landing traffic.
So a little high, so just a little less power to lose altitude while we maneuver. 10 degrees of bank or standard rate, we're a little steep. That's good, and we can go the other way. That's a stall warning coming on, right? So you need to nose down, but now we're going low, so the power has to come back up. Get enough power so we start trending in the right direction.
No, I'm saying,
What?
I didn't hear the stall warning, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Still going low. We were trending in the wrong direction. All right, so we finished the turn, and now we know we have plenty of distance. Even though it's hard to see the hill, we could make a left turn. So let's make a left turn and go back the other way, a left 180.
Can't see the hill though.
Right, you can't, but we know where we are because we're right over the freeway. So we have plenty of distance to turn inside the hill. See how we're still right over the road? Look down at the road. You see it?
Right.
So we're going to be turning very close to over that road. We have plenty of space. Now you can see the hill.
Yeah.
All right, let's accelerate a little bit. Next we'll do a power on and a power off stall straight, and then we'll do them turning. So you could speed up a little bit, to like normal pattern speed, no faster than that. And we've just done our clearing turn. Remember how to do the power on stalls?
Yes.
Okay? So we're already fast enough and not too fast for an entry. So let's do a power on stall, full brake, straight ahead, and recover to a climb.
All warning.
So look at the airspeed. You're gone well through VY, and we're losing altitude and still accelerating. Our goal is recover with minimum loss of altitude. You're putting in downstream, and we're already too fast. Right? So let's throttle back and stop climbing. The goal is let the nose down to just high enough to break the stall. It should still be positive pitch. And we don't want to go any faster than VY. Even VX is fast enough.
Okay.
Right?
So the mistake I made was I lost directional sense. So I wasn't sure.
Huh, interesting. So we were following 280. That's one of the reasons to call it out. Earlier we were looking down the Crystal Springs.
Right.
Now we're following 280.
Okay. Yeah. And then second thing I forgot to ask, like, do we because of the airspace restrictions?
Well, where's the airspace above us? Do you remember?
Was it 3,000 or 4,000?
4,000.
4,000. Okay, so we go up till 3,000.
Right.
Okay.
All right, let's now do a straight ahead stall in landing configuration, power off.
Should we do another power on?
We will.
Okay.
We'll do turning ones after this.
Okay. So landing configuration. 5. So 90.
And again, our heading is to follow 280. You can see Mount Tamalpais a little to the right of the nose.
Okay.
We can land either on the freeway or on one of these golf courses. And we'll go right into our setting up for our stall.
Okay. Power to 90. Apps. I want to pick a visual reference. Should I pick that?
Oh, just keep it slightly to the right of the nose because we don't want to be going into the higher terrain, right?
Right.
Turn off your A&R, it'll get noisier.
Trying to get to landing configuration.
What are you trying to change now?
Yeah, I think I'm 65.
Yeah, you were a little
off.
slow there, but that's it. Power off, nose down to 65, trim for it. And now you can bring the nose up for a stall and let's get a full brake.
All warning.
If you're about to hit a tree, you're going to wait 2 seconds. You put the nose down, you put the power in immediately. Don't wait. there's 62, that's VX. Bring the nose up. That last 10 degrees of flaps, you got to pull the nose up, or the speed gets high and we don't climb.
Okay.
All right, we can level off here for just a moment. Just bring the power back to like 1900. And we're moving well down our practice area. How about we make another 180 towards Crystal Springs for the next maneuver? So each time we do one or two maneuvers, we make a 180 to stay in the practice area.
Okay. So 180?
Yep. Remember to look before you turn, right? You don't want to hit somebody while you're making your clearing turn. Could probably land right there too, next to that small road.
Yes.
So what's our heading reference? Where are we going to go?
The water body again.
And where are we going to go if the engine fails?
Right beneath us.
Okay, good. And let's do a power on stall in a climbing right turn, imminent only.
Okay. How far can I not go?
We have plenty of space. We're
Okay.
above 2,500 feet. We can go remember, we can always go to Stanford, right? So we got plenty of space. And if you're not sure, look at the chart. We can see that the next thing is way over there, and we're going to be pretty close to the 280 freeway, so we should have no problem making our maneuver. Really start pitching up first to slow down. You're really fast here, and you're pushing the nose down. We want to be slowing down and not speeding up. So start bringing the nose up. Right now, bring the nose up. Go into your turn. 15-degree right bank. Right now, 15-degree bank. And now we're really slow. Now full power. And slowly raise the nose. Now you're putting right rudder in and the bank angle's increasing. It's going to get really hard to stall from here. Keep the bank angle relatively shallow. You're pushing down. We're trying to stall, right?
Yeah.
So pushing down, we're not going to stall. We're just doing 360s.
All warning.
I didn't hear it, but that's okay. All right, and just recover. Let's not turn toward the hills. Let's keep it going straight. And what's happening? You're going right through VY and you're leveling off. The idea is to recover into a climb. My airplane.
Lower thing?
So I'm going to do one relatively quickly here.
Okay.
We've just done a clearing turn. I'm going to turn away from the hills, and I'm going to look before I turn. Make sure nobody's there. To give you a little reminder of the pace for this maneuver. All right, so we're going to be pointing at Diablo for just a moment. We're leveled out. The throttle is back. I'm bringing the nose up, so we're slowing down to below VY. So now we can go to full power, and the nose is coming up, and there's a stall warning, and I just ease the nose down a little bit, and I'll continue to turn so we don't go so far towards Palo Alto. But look at how slowly the airspeed's increasing. Altitude's not changing. There's VX. Now I'm letting the airplane climb and slowly bringing the nose down to speed up to VY. And notice we were gaining altitude throughout. Just a small reduction in pitch. All right, we can throttle right back. Want to do one more of those? We have enough altitude to do it if you don't pull up too soon, if you don't apply power too soon. So throttle back a little bit. And then let's let the speed bleed off a little. Got to hold the nose up. See, if we're losing altitude, we're not going to slow down. Slow down close to VX. This is a little further. You're putting in down trim when you need up trim. Okay, so now you can go to, we're at VX, you can go to full power. Start your right turn.
Right.
And slowly bring, you just push the nose down. We're trying to stall, right? Got to let the nose come up.
warning?
I don't hear it. We're not slowing down. There it is. Now recover. And that's it. We're recovered, and we're at 3,600 feet. So we can throttle back and level off. We can finish the turn towards the Crystal Spring. Got to throttle back. We're at 3,600 feet. We can't go much higher. And now we'll do another approach to landing stall in a left turn, in landing configuration.
Left.
We're going to make it left. We have plenty of space. We're
okay.
high, and we're still over slack. We have space. Did our clearing turn. Got to nose down a little for level flight. We're pointing toward our initial heading reference. What speed do we want to be in as we start a approach to landing stall? Right, so nose down a little bit. We're a little short on power. Just like a landing in the pattern to power off the base to final to the stall. Okay, we're set, and we can throttle back. And throttle back like you're pretty much like you would for a landing. You can come back to a little more like 1,500 so we don't lose so much altitude, but pretty much like we would normally do. You're stable, and you're trimming up, right? We're still at 10 flaps. We should be at 75.
Well, I thought I got 75 before.
Yeah, but now you're at 60 with 20 flaps. What should our speed be with 20 flaps?
70.
Right, so nose down. Just like you're landing.
November 3 Bravo. Just so you know, we reached out for you right when you're about 3.5 miles from the airspace. You were about to enter the Delta without talking to us.
Okay.
You called us before you entered the Delta.
Flaps.
Yeah, unfortunately I switched to wrong frequency, 30 Bravo.
So we're still pointing there, okay. And what's next?
Yeah, so 5 power off.
Right? Okay, and left turn. And
Warning.
you can recover. So just like you'd go around, full power. Notice the bank angle's increasing.
Right.
And what do we need to do next? And there, got to pull it up now, because otherwise the nose is going to go down. That's way better. And now we're recovered. Okay, let's throttle back to level off and throttle back to 1900. So since we're up here at 3,000 feet, we'll do our steep turns, then we'll do our simulated engine out, then we'll go back to Palo Alto.
Okay.
Okay, so my airplane for a demo. We've just turned 180, so we don't need to do a full clearing turn. And we're going to aim at Diablo. So I'm looking, no traffic. I'll bring the power up to 2100 for 90 knots. We can't go all that far this way, so we got to get this going. So we'll roll out. We're right on Diablo. We can set a heading bug 2. All right, so we're just a little slow and a little high, so I can dive a little bit, pick up 90 knots. I'm going to try to maintain 3,000 feet. And before I enter, at 100 RPM. Okay, we roll in to a 45-degree bank and hold the pitch relatively level. Right, that's all I'm looking at. A quick look in, we're gaining a tiny amount of altitude, but losing some speed. So add a little power and nose down a tiny bit. Looks good. Watching that pitch attitude, a little high, a little slow, nose down a little bit. And I don't even need any back pressure, really. Good, good. Here comes Diablo. And since I'm a little high, I'm going to throttle back as we reach it, roll right back in the other way. Same pitch attitude, add the power back in. Sierra Papa, roger, we're maneuvering. So, 3,090 knots, holding the 45 degree, watching where the horizon meets the panel, holding it level. A little more bank angle, look right through the sun, great. A little low, a little fast, nose up a little bit. Good, a little slow, nose down a little, there's our wake. Here comes Diablo, roll out and throttle back. Done. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Sierra Papa, thank you. All right, so we have enough space to do it if you're ready to go right now. If you want to take a moment, we should turn away from the airspace.
We should turn away.
Okay, so pick a direction and turn.
I'll turn left.
Nose up a little. See the nose going down?
Right.
And we can just kind of make a big left 180 toward the hill here. If we're going to turn left some more, right toward the hill, and we're almost above it, so turn left towards the hill. So you can see these little ponds down here?
Yeah.
So we know that until we get over them, then we're not going to hit anything. We can roll out and go this way for about a minute to give us enough space to be heading toward Diablo,
okay,
so we don't get into anybody else's airspace. It's a hard place to practice.
It is.
That's why I don't like it.
And the sun is not helping either.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I hate this spot. All right, so that's probably far enough. Notice we're at 2,000 RPM and 80 knots, so you can add a little power, and we can accelerate back to 90 as we make our turn back toward Mount Diablo.
Start?
Sorry?
Will we start?
Sure. You're going a little high. You got power, but the nose isn't down enough. So 90 knots, that's a huge pitch change. Do you want to make a change that big? Our speed's going to go right through 90, and we're going to go low. Little changes. Looking pretty good. Here comes Diablo. There it is. We can roll out on Diablo. Right, so we're just about 90 knots. We're a little high. Let's just hold 3,100 feet through the maneuver.
Okay.
Want to push the power up a little before you roll in. Going high and slow, nose down a little. Okay, so work down to 3,100 as we make the maneuver. Right turn or left turn. See the nose going down? You're going to start picking up speed, losing altitude. That down trim you put in was what screwed you up. Okay, pitch looks pretty close. Altitude looks good. You can look back out again. Now the nose is coming up. But you're looking pretty good. 3,100, you're gaining a little altitude, losing a little airspeed, nose down just a little bit. Keep turning, there's Diablo. You haven't made it there yet. Okay, roll out, and then right back the other way. We're a little slow and a little high. Roll all the way a 45-degree bank. Now see, right there, you were looking in. You needed to be looking out because the nose went down. I'll shut up for the rest of the maneuver. Let's see how you do. Little more right rudder, got a little uncoordinated on the rollout. And you're basically, so see how we're gaining a little altitude? Nose down a little, speed's a little low. Now we're back to where we need to be. Okay, that was good for the first couple. All right, examiners and check ride pilots and instructors are really nasty. But now that you finished that maneuver, here's your simulated engine out.
All right. Alright, fuel all the
Hold on.
way.
Mile to 2 miles southeast of you, northwest bound altimeter 2,900, type unknown. Additional traffic, 9 o'clock, 3 miles eastbound altimeter 2,600, type unknown.
Where's your Papa? We got one guy behind us, same altitude. Where was the second one?
The second half of traffic is 9 o'clock, 3 miles eastbound altimeter 2,600, in type unknown.
Where's your Papa Roger looking for? Okay, what are you doing?
Well, I was just waiting for the call to finish.
No, you can't. You got to fly the airplane.
Yeah. So I did I checked the mixture, fuel, shut-off valve, and fuel pump on.
Okay, good.
Good.
And you can leave it on.
Okay, and now I'm
Okay.
okay. So I'm just now I'm best glide is set up. Or how about that feed right
Okay, go for it. Go for it immediately. High throttle.
there? Throttle.
Midfield right downwind, runway 31.
Midfield right downwind, runway 31. Thanks, Lemon. Thank you.
On your flow check.
Yes. So I'm checking back, left, right.
Power check. Okay.
Now I'm setting up.
Don't be coy. If you're gonna check it, give it a good push. Okay, assuming it didn't work, pull it all the way out.
Okay, so now we're gonna think about the wind. So wind probably blowing from this way. Our ground track is for.
What you care about is speed. We essentially have no wind.
Right.
Where are we landing?
This part right there.
Sorry, say again.
Cessna 288, enter midfield, left downwind, runway 31 at traffic, 12 o'clock, 2 miles, orbiting in the vicinity, altitude indicates 1,600, Cessna.
High throttle.
Sierra Papa, traffic about a mile to 2 miles in trail of you, altitude indicates 3,000, Cessna, they're inbound.
We have them on the display. We'll be one so a little lower here, then we'll be inbound. We'll call you. Where's your Papa?
Roger.
Okay, where's your field? Okay. Which way are we landing?
That way.
Okay. This is a very shallow turn, and if you want to stay close, make the turn steep, 30 to 45.
My field.
Is it that field right there?
This field, yes.
Star, enter midfield, left.
Oh, we're going the wrong way, and we're down to 600 feet. What are we going to do?
Cessna 8 Sierra Papa, just verify, straight in for runway.
So I'm gonna.
All right, let's go around. We're too low here to be legal. Power up, keep turning. Full throttle. We overflew a lot of different landable fields. To get to this field too low to make a safe approach.
Were you talking about the
Cessna 2 Mike, number 1, runway 31, clear to land.
like?
Let's make a right turn. We passed all kind of golf courses.
Yeah.
You know, we were close to 280, which would have been, there's not much traffic to fly all the way over, and then you got too low. We were down to critically low altitude. This is not sea level over here. This is like 300 or 400 feet up.
288, number 2.
So we were down to 500 feet, and we're still turning to find the key position.
So, oh, you're saying okay. So I was seeing 1,000 here, but we were not.
This isn't sea level.
I see.
Look at these golf courses. Look at the fairways. We went right over them. And, you know, if you were going for that field, as we went to it, you should have been immediately saying, okay, we're not high enough for a key position. We could go to a downwind base and final. But once you flew over it and did a 30-degree bank turn or less, we were out of range.
Yeah.
All right,
So I thought my downwind was too short.
You weren't going to make the field. You overflew the field and flew away from it. We were too low to fly away from it. Let's level off. And let's check the ATIS at Palo Alto.
Alto Tower information, Juliet 2347 Zulu observation, wind 320 at 7, visibility 10, sky clear, temperature 14, dew point 7, altimeter 3020. GPS approach in use, landing and departing runway 31. Hazardous weather information available on flight service frequency. Use caution for bird activity on and in the vicinity of Palo Alto Airport. Read back, hold short instructions and runway assignment. Advise ground control of departure request. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Juliet.
I need it one more time.
Okay. We can make a 180 to stay here. I'll take the airplane. You can listen.
Juliet 2347 Zulu observation. Wind 320 at 7. Visibility 10. Sky clear. Temperature 14, dew point 7, altimeter 3020. GPS approach in use, landing and departing runway 31. Hazardous weather information available on flight service frequency. Use caution for bird activity on and in the vicinity of Palo Alto Airport. Read back, hold short instructions and runway assignment. Advise ground control of departure request. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Juliet.
Okay. I'm good with that.
No. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, we can tell them we're at slack with Juliet for pattern work.
Palo Alto Tower, Cessna 4940 Papa, over slack with information Juliet, inbound for pattern work.
Cessna 4940 Papa, Alto Tower, enter midfield left downwind runway 31.
Left downwind, runway 31, 4940 Papa.
So it's midfield, so you want to aim right for the center of the airport.
I don't know if it's the radio or if it's that side of the plane, but the radio call has a heavy static in the background. It was much clearer from the other side. Was talking.
Okay, throttle back, start descending. Of course, Sierra Papa, we'll work on the other side. Thank you. Okay, so nose down, we got to start descending. We're only 5 miles or 4.5 miles from the airport. We're going to be there in about 3 minutes. So we got to get down. That's very low power. It's a little too low. 1800 ought to work. We just need it to be descending. You see the airport? So there's the bridge. There's Cooley Landing. There's the San Francisco Creek, and that the airport to the right of it. Do you see the golf course, the green area? And then you can, to the right of that, you see the ponds and the parking area. So right about here, you're pointing at the airport.
Yeah, I see that. I see
and
the
that,
parking.
those buildings right beyond it, the white buildings or the tan buildings, there's a blue roof, a blue surrounding. That's IKEA in East Palo Alto. And here's the Stanford Stadium. Look down right over here. Not particularly easy to see.
Alto Tower, 211 see Moffett inbound.
Duke 07 X-ray, turn base.
Turn right base, 07 X-ray.
So you're aiming at the 1-3 numbers. He wanted us to be midfield, come a little right. Airport's that side of the creek.
Speed, make straight in runway 31, number 3.
Oh, right there.
Oh, right here in front of us. You see the sparse trees of the golf course? The parking area is right there. So this is going toward midfield right now.
Baron 1 Romeo Whiskey, verify you had information, Juliet.
And we have two, we have one on.
Cessna 4 Sierra Papa, make left 180 and make an orbit around Stanford and return inbound on a left for the left downwind.
We'll make a left 180, Cessna 4940 Papa.
They like us to be above 1500 till crossing the freeway. So we're a little below that. But I wanted to add power right away so we didn't get too low.
Midfield, make a left 360.
He's given us this turn to give more time. So we want this to be a relatively slow turn.
KPAO, standard rate turn, please.
Midfield standard rate turn,
Hear what he just said to her? The standard rate turn gives him 2 minutes. So he wanted a 360 around Stanford, so we have to kind of go back to Stanford.
3570 Bravo Alto Tower, make straight in runway 31, number 3, follow Barron over the amphitheater, runway 31, clear to land.
Runway 31, number 3, clear to land, 70 Bravo.
Sirius 70 Bravo, continue reducing speed, your traffic to follow Barron is indicating 90 knots, and verify you had information, Juliet.
I have Juliet, 70 Bravo.
I got the Stanford Shopping Center on my right.
I have a stadium on my left.
Sirius 70 Bravo, do you have the field in sight?
Looking for it right now, 70 Bravo.
That would be no.
1 o'clock, 3 miles.
Stanford Hospital here on the right.
70 Bravo.
Got the Hoover Tower.
On Zulu, contact now. Contacting Bravo, 053.
Turn or not yet?
I think this will be fine. Good turn. But as you're still climbing,
Bravo, your traffic follows.
so we could come back down to a little bit lower.
I'm looking for the traffic, looking for the field as well. It's kind of dark, but I see it now. 70 Bravo.
Yeah, the Hoover Tower is behind us. We're circling the campus. This is fine. Cessna 4 Sierra Papa, can we head inbound or you need another circle over Stanford?
Cessna 4 Sierra Papa, you can proceed inbound.
So again, you see the creek goes out to the bay. Those 3 lights there, I'm not sure what they are, but they're to the right side of the airport. You can see the golf course. Just go for the golf course. And we could hold this altitude for another minute, and then we'll start coming down. They like us to be above 1500 this side of 101, but when we're throttled back, we're so quiet, it's fine. Mostly they don't want high power at low altitude. Okay, so now we're pointing at the 3-1 numbers. We want to come a little further left. We could throttle back now. We'll be nice and quiet, low power. And do you see the runway now? Right in front of us? You see the parking area.
I see that. I see the
and the
plane
runway
landing.
is just that. There you go. That's good. So we're trying to come down now to pattern altitude of 1,000 feet on this side. Oh, the lights are for the driving range down there at the golf course.
Sirius 70 Bravo, on Zulu, contact ground.
So now we can make a right turn.
On Zulu, 70 Bravo. Good day.
Grumman 003, number 2, follow Cessna right downwind, turning base, runway 31, clear to land.
Number 2, clear to land. We're looking for the Cessna 003.
Cessna 4 Sierra Papa, number 3, follow Grumman at the amphitheater, runway 31, cleared for the option on the go, right traffic.
Number 2, we'll look for the traffic. Runway 31, Cessna 494 Sierra Papa.
Correction number 3, 4 Sierra Papa. Okay, let's hold the altitude. We're extending downwind for the other guy.
003 has traffic.
Let's hold the altitude. You're at 1,500 RPM. What do we need to hold altitude and power?
Power?
1,900 RPM.
We don't have the flaps yet. Should we?
Oh, you can go to flaps. Going pretty damn fast, I think. 100 knots. Yep, he's going fast. Power's low.
We have traffic following site, just passing off your left now.
We do, 4 Sierra Papa. We can turn. We're following him. Careful, we're about 2 miles out, so you don't want to be descending too much out here. Start turning front. There you go.
Cessna 288 on Zulu, contact ground.
Contacting ground 3288.
Yep, overshot the final. I saw that coming. Maybe make about 2 or 3 landings if we don't have any trouble with the shimmy. How do we look?
I guess. Fast, actually.
Among other things.
High.
Very high.
Sherman 003, if able, left on Charlie on Zulu, contact ground.
How do we look?
High.
Power off, full flaps. We might be able to make it down.
Hello, to Tower Skyhawk 254 Echo Kilo, over mid, after just cross mid-span 10 at your bridge.
Our pitch attitude's constant, so we see the red lights on the berm sliding beneath the nose, so our aim point is past that. Power all the way off. Don't get slow. If you're pulling us up, it changes the aim point, or it changes how it looks. Now our aim point's probably just about the PAPI, made a little bit past it. And we'll land maybe before the second taxiway, we'll see. And now it's too late to go around. If you had power, we could have gone around immediately, but it's fine.
Well,
It's fine. It's perfectly fine.
Wanted to.
Let's hold that nose up. That's not such a great. It's worse, isn't it?
It is a little bit.
Look at the crow. It doesn't care. You can do a few more if you want.
Yeah, we should do shoot more.
Okay.
I just my glasses, so I'm gonna.
Okay. You want me to taxi? I have the airplane. Cleaning up, brakes, flaps up, trim set, mixture lean. Four Sierra Papa.
Cessna 4 Sierra Papa, runway 31, taxi back by Zulu, each time remain this frequency, advise termination.
Cessna 4 Sierra Papa, taxi back 31 each time, will advise termination. Okay.
Information Kilo, current wind calm, altimeter 3020, runway 31 in use, information Kilo.
You have the controls.
Cessna 4 Echo Kilo, runway 31, clear to land.
Clear to land 31, 4 Echo Kilo, thank you.
Cessna 4 Sierra Papa, runway 31, clear for takeoff.
Runway 31, cleared for takeoff. Cessna 494 Sierra Papa.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that one.
Well, I was saying I now see much better.
Being able to see is always good.
I'm gonna slow down a little bit.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna not forget to mixture rich. Nobody on the final. You're gonna turn. Flaps. Mixture seat belt. I see that. Okay. right
Yep.
traffic?
Yep, right traffic.
.500 is around Kool landing.
Well, 500's now. There's the 500, right?
Over Leslie Salt 1300, landing with Kilo.
Driver 224 Romeo Alto Tower, enter midfield right downwind, runway 31.
How do we look?
Left down.
Good. Should turn right away, I guess.
Enter midfield right downwind, runway 31.
Midfield right downwind, runway 31. 224 Romeo Alpha, sorry.
That's also 16894, just south of Woodside, 3300, inbound with Kilo.
110, going 10 flaps.
So the engine failed right now. Could we make the field?
Base winds calm, runway 31, clear for the option.
I think so.
I think that was for 494 Sierra Papa, 31 cleared the option. Absolutely. But we...
Right base turning final.
For Sierra Papa in sight. Notice you're 200 feet high and we're slow.
Tower, make left traffic, runway 31, verify information Kilo.
Left traffic 31, and I have Kilo, and I'd like to do if you show the process if that'll work out.
Cessna 894 on request.
Clear to land?
We're cleared for the option.
A little bit high, so we can...
Cessna 4 Echo Kilo, exit Echo, and start taxiing on Zulu.
Exiting on Echo and taxiing on Zulu 4 Echo.
Cessna 14, taxi ramp Zulu, right turn Yankee 2, suggest Juliet to monitor ground, good night. Cessna 4 Echo Kilo, you can taxi ramp Zulu, right turn Yankee 2, suggest
You're putting it up trim and we're very slow.
Zulu, Yankee 2 and monitor ground, thanks.
Nose down, get some speed. We need the speed.
Starbia 4 Romeo Alpha, wind calm, runway 31, clear to land.
31, clear to land, 224 Romeo Alpha.
We're trying to look over the nose. You got to look off to the side. You wanted to get the flaps up faster than that. Nose down a little bit. It's going to nose down as you brought the flaps up. All right, much better on the pitch control there as you brought up the left to the flaps. That was good. That's 2 landings. First time around, you turned a little early to the downwind. We were very close, and then we had the power up. We went high, and you let the airplane turn toward the center line. So we had a very short base, and we were high. And now we're high and slow. Now the downwind looks a little bit better.
Sierra Papa number 2,
number 2, clear for the option. We'll look for the Citabria. Actually, we have it in sight. Cessna 494 Sierra Papa.
They're tracking toward the center line a little bit.
Your number 2, following right downwind of beam Embarcadero. If you want to be set up for short approach, just cross over the field, midfield at or above pattern altitude, and then right downwind for runway 31.
Cross above midfield and then right downwind, 169.
Charlie 4, Romeo Alpha, taxi ramp via Charlie, Zulu, right turn Yankee 2, suggest Juliet, monitor ground, good day.
Charlie, Zulu, Yankee 2, and monitor ground, for Romeo.
White. Little high.
Cessna 894, short approach approved, number 2, following Cessna, short final over the pond, wind calm, runway 31, clear for the option, on the go, resume right, close traffic.
Number 2, clear for the option, short approach, and we'll do right traffic afterwards, on 694.
It's not all the way out here, it's just there. Go? Or
We go around?
you gotta decide.
Okay, I'll
Too
just,
late now.
Okay, I'll just...
Power to idle. And hold the nose up. A little more brake and keep holding that nose all the way up. Okay?
Has gone worse, I think.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. That may make it easier for him to fix the problem. We are at an hour 29 right now. We can do as many more patterns as you want, or we can stop whenever you want.
Let's do more.
Okay, fine with me.
Cessna 4 Sierra Papa, follow the upwind, Cessna, wind calm, runway 31, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff. Runway 31, Cessna 4 Sierra Papa. Doesn't seem like it's too busy.
Doesn't seem like what?
Not that busy.
No, it's not. That's when the other guy said it's really quiet. He meant traffic. So I was joking about turning off A&R, make it louder. That's a pretty sky, huh?
Yep.
You got a little down trim in there. Expect to pull a little harder. You didn't do a post-landing check. You caught the flaps, but not the trim.
Cessna 894, short approach approved, wind calm.
So when you pulled the nose up, then you let go, it came right back down. That's why I had to pull it up.
I see.
Importance of the post-landing check, huh?
It is, it is.
Remember to start throttling back before you get to 800 so we don't blow right through it. Like you could start slowly throttling back right now to reach 1900 RPM as we get to 800 rather. Look at that, nailed the altitude on speed. Huh, amazing how that works.
Cessna 4 Sierra Papa, number 2 following, Cessna short approach, right base to final, winds calm, runway 31, cleared for the option.
Clear for the option, number 2, runway 31, and we have the traffic in sight. Cessna 494 Sierra Papa.
That's a short approach. Doesn't look so short to me. Look at the runway. How's our alignment look?
We are going towards it.
Yeah, we are.
Towards base, right?
They're flying.
Yes, we can.
Baron 111, X-ray, X-ray, Palo Alto Tower, enter left downwind, runway 31.
Downwind 311, X-ray, sir. Night 94 terminating.
Cessna 894 on Zulu, contact ground, have a good night.
Zulu ground, good night.
Why are we so high? Throttle reduction, not enough throttle reduction, missed the 20 flaps. I don't know if you can get down from here. Power all the way off, full flaps. Power all the way off first, full flaps. You're pretty high and you're fast. So pushing the nose down makes it worse. So bring the nose up a little and give us a slip. More slip than that. Nose down a little. Stay with the slip. Stay with it right through the round out. A little early. We may not be able to get down. We'll see. We may need to go around. Don't push the nose down, right? Got to land nose up. Look at that. Power. Right rudder and rotate and flaps. Don't when you're late, don't go flaps all the way up at once. Just go to 10.
31, clear to land, 1 X-ray, sir.
That was a nice demonstration, huh? All right, next one will be the last. Let's make that one good.